I'm gonna cry reading these.
I have tissue.
But that's how it felt like that
Yeah.
night that we were sending these back and forth. Like it just
Yes.
helped to have them.
Hi, my name is Christine Siddons, and welcome to the One Tough Mama podcast. I am so glad that you're here. I am a Christian wife and a mom to 8 kids. And today I have a special treat. I have my oldest daughter with me, and we are going to talk about baby blues, postpartum depression, and that kind of topic. I need a cordless time. I do. Talk with my hands. All right. So the birth of a baby can start a variety of powerful emotions, from excitement and joy to fear and anxiety. But it can also result in something you might not expect, depression. Most new moms experience postpartum baby blues after childbirth, which commonly includes mood swings, crying spells, anxiety, loneliness, and it can last a couple days to a few months.
Mhm.
And so you wanted to share this. We had
Yeah.
talked about this previously, but you had actually prepared
Yeah.
more than I did. And so pretty much you just take it away, and then I'll
Okay.
just jump in as we go.
I'm Colleen. I'm her oldest daughter, and I'm 4 months postpartum at the moment with my third. And I experienced baby blues with my first and my third. My second, I didn't really experience it at all. The third time around, though, I feel like this time I really want to help others that are going through that. I did it the first time too, but this time around, I just feel like I have this burden to want to help others that might go through it. And that's what I want to do now. So I guess there's a lot of people that go through postpartum depression, anxiety, baby blues, and there's like she said, there's a number of different feelings. Everybody can experience it differently. Some might not have it at all, and others might have it heavier than others.
Right.
I didn't have it, I think, too heavy, but I just remember with my first, it definitely lasted like about 3 months. And I remember like when my husband would go to work in the morning, I just remember feeling very lonely and just crying. And I didn't have as much support that time around. It was probably just a different time with friends, family, church, everything around me. And it was my first, so it was definitely just like, whoa, all of the experience. And I remember asking to go over to your house a lot, and that helped. Just being around people really helped me during that time. And I was also pregnant with 3 other ladies in our church. So I think that helped too, because we would all be in the nursing room together, or just being able to bounce things off each other, like, oh, my baby's doing this or that.
Right.
And just being able to have another lady that's kind of going through the same thing, even though they might not be going exactly through the same thing, because all our babies were pretty much around the same age as well. But I know just having you at the time helped a lot during my first. And I know that you were probably going through some things too at the time with other situations, but just that you allowed me just to come over and just hang out like almost all day or whatever, that helped a lot. And I know it definitely lasted about 3 months with my first, just like very lonely feelings. I remember before my first was born, I could be in my house and it could be quiet. I could have nothing playing or whatever, but I felt like I had to have music playing. I had to have noise, just something else going on. And I knew also, since it was my first, I feel like, you know that it's going to be a lot of responsibility, but I think whenever they come, you don't realize how much responsibility it's going to be, just how much they depend on you. And I think that can be overwhelming also when you're the only person that can provide kind of for your baby when you're breastfeeding and stuff like that. You just feel like the weight of the world is on you in a way. And then it was also my first for my husband. So I think he didn't realize like all the feelings that you could go through too. At least I don't think the other ladies that had babies at the time were going through similar things, at least the feelings that I had. I know at least one of them was kind of like struggling with breastfeeding, but that's like kind of different. But I know like all those struggles that go through your mind with like, am I producing enough? Am I, taking care of the baby the way I should? All the things. But I don't know why. I don't think I'll ever understand why, but like just the feelings of loneliness that come over, that's what I experienced. And then with my second, I didn't have anything really at all. Maybe one day, like it kind of started to come, but I barely had anything with her. So that was really nice. And then this time around, it kind of happened right away, like after I had her, maybe the night before we got to go home back home from the hospital. And it was also different because I had kids too. So in a way, it helps, but it doesn't help too. Like it helps because you're distracted by them. So you have other people to take care of, compared to my first, she was the only one I had to take care of. So that helped to be distracted by things. But I know whenever I got home, I just felt lonely. But even before that, and my husband prayed over me at the hospital. Um, and I know that I talked to you for a long time afterwards because you were watching our kids whenever we got home. You guys brought the kids and you stayed for a while and just let me talk and cry and all that too. So that meant a lot. And, but the interesting thing was that my middle kid was kind of emotional too during the first couple weeks and almost experiencing similar feelings, and she didn't know why. That was interesting too, just that she would cry and feel sad and she didn't know why. I remembered I guess the way I could help her with that, because she didn't know why, because I would ask like, why are you sad? Like, do you know why? She's like, I don't know. And I just kind of explained, well, I kind of feel the same way as well. Like, I'm sometimes cry because they would probably see me cry a lot this time around, and kind of involving her in it. Like when I would be nursing in the morning and she wakes up earlier than my oldest, I'd have her just sit next to me as I'm nursing and read her a book. Like I'd have her hold the book and I'd kind of read it until I was done nursing, because they would have to learn to wait for me to get breakfast and stuff. So I think that kind of helped, just involving her and in a way, showing that that I'm still here, or that
she still matters.
Yeah.
So is she more in tune in general with your feelings and other people's feelings?
I think so. They might have different ways. I know she's the best hugger, so I feel like she does. Yeah.
Because like I always say, she'll come up to you and give you a hug, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize I needed an end hug, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and she just wraps her whole body. You're like, yeah. It's because I know sometimes kids
have bigger feelings, or sensitive.
They're just certain kids. It doesn't have to be boy or girl.
Right.
Are just more in tune with parent A or parent B. Because I've had certain kids that are more in tune with what I'm going through. So, that is normal for kids to feel what their parents feel.
Yeah, and I'm not sure either, because my oldest is 7 and then my middle is 4. So I'm not sure, like, because she's still young, but like maybe as she's older, I'll get to know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if that continues. Hey, you guys know that I like using natural products, and I love tallow-based products. I mean, we use tallow for just about everything. And I have told you guys about Tubes & Co. before, and I love them. So Tubes & Co. products are packaged in 100% recyclable paperboard. They're helping to reduce waste by practicing farm-to-face skincare, naturally biodegradable without synthetics that pollute water and soil, packed with organic and pure ingredients in their whole form, shipped as soon as 1 day after production, ensuring you get a fresh product with every order. And I can guarantee everything that I have ordered has been fresh. And so I recently just got another one of their sample kits. I don't have all 3 of them here, but here are 2 of them. It is the Tallow Balm kit, and so I got the Sweet Girl Tallow, and then there's an original Tallow Balm as well. This one has just a little bit of a different scent. And then for my face, frankincense face balm, and they are perfect travel size. This I put in my purse, actually. It's perfect. And then I keep my other one, the original one, in our silverware drawer, because after you clean the kitchen, after you do the dishes, if you're like me, your hands are dry. And so these are great. Go check them out. The link is in my show notes. All right, thank you.
And the thing about my third baby this time around, feeling all these feelings, well, let me go back, because actually, I guess I might be a little bit different, because I know at the hospital, at all your doctor's appointments, at your baby's doctor's appointments, they ask you and they prepare you before you go home, like, are you feeling this way? Do you have these symptoms? And I don't know if I'm different from other ladies, but I just say no, because I know a lot of times then they'll put you into like maybe counseling or put you on medication, and I knew I didn't need it. And I have a friend, or maybe a couple friends, that dealt with it heavier, that actually kind of wanted to do things to themselves, and they had to go on medication. So if you definitely need it, definitely get it, because if that helps, and that helps. And I knew I didn't need it, so that's why I didn't want to say that I had it, because I knew that they would do certain things that I didn't need, and I had support. So I think that helps.
And you don't want to claim something.
Yeah.
It's like a fine line between, yes, I have this issue. So you can't deny if you have a broken leg or something, but it's a fine line between claiming it and really getting the help. But
so I knew that I had help, and I didn't need the extra stuff that they had. But I
Mm-hmm.
think if you do need it, definitely,
Yes.
but this time around with my third baby, I think the support has been so much different this time around with ladies in church and friends that are not from church. And I've just had people offer to take my kids, like you took my kids one time just on errands, and that was helpful for them just to get out of the house,
Yeah.
have some normalcy in
Mhm.
this big change. And then I've had a couple people offer things that I didn't need them, but just the fact that they offered, like, oh, if you want me to go around
Mhm.
while you run errands and I could stay in the car with your kids, or
Yeah.
if you want me to come over and clean, if you want me to take your kids to the park. And then I have this one friend that's not from church. She checked in on me a lot, and
Mhm.
she she had a baby, and I think her baby's like 5 or 6 months older than mine, but she organized my meal train and stuff. But she
Right.
also, like, before I had the baby, she'd always check, like, how are you feeling with pregnancy? How
Mhm.
are you feeling postpartum? And she still checks in on me. And I really appreciated that. Just the
Mhm.
fact to have somebody check in on you, and somebody you could tell them, like, no, I really had a hard day and what you're going through, just to have that person
Right.
to talk to, that really was helpful. And then the ladies in church have been very helpful this time too. I remember my first service back, like, I was feeling all those feelings, and one
Yeah.
of the ladies, I could tell that, and she doesn't have any babies biologically. And so she's like, I know I don't know what you're going through, but I also know that you need people. And I was like, how do you know that? Because
Yeah.
that's exactly what I need. And that's like one of the biggest helps with postpartum for me, is just being around people. And she had helped me by asking the nursery leader and our pastor's wife if I could nurse in the nursery instead of the
Mhm.
nursing room, because
Right.
there's no other moms that have babies at this time. And that's not normal for me. Normally there's other people that are
Right.
pregnant and have babies
Right.
with you, and they'll be in the nursing room with you, and you have somebody to talk to. So that was very helpful. They let me nurse in the nursery, and just being around people, that was very helpful. And then we have like a little TV in there that shows the sermon too.
Right.
Just being able to be around people, and that just the people that helped this time,
Mhm.
just reaching out was so different this time, and it was a
Yeah.
lot more, and that was very, very helpful.
I agree. Like right
Yeah.
now, just thinking when I had babies and then, seeing your first two,
Yeah.
it is definitely, and I don't want to use safe space, but
Right.
it is definitely a much less judgmental and like, hey, I'm struggling. There's no judgment
Yeah.
now. People come around you now. And I think that that's
It's easy to be open about what
yes.
you're feeling, and you don't feel like you're going to be judged for what you're
Mhm.
feeling. Because I think that's kind of how it was the first time I felt these. It's like you just have all these things in your head that's like, no, you shouldn't be feeling this way, or people are going to judge you. Like, I don't know, just this time around too, I feel like we had a lot more people help with meals.
Yes.
And that was very helpful too, especially that now that I have other kids to
Yeah.
take care of. So I think that was extra helpful.
Right.
I've had meals for all my babies, and I feel like that's one of the biggest helps any mom
Right.
could have, I think, in my opinion, just because you don't have to think about it. And then you
Right.
have leftovers the next couple days or something. And then even some of the moms that dropped off meals this time came in, or the ladies that came and dropped them off, if they saw that I was nursing, they'd offer to get my kids a plate if my husband was working late
Nice.
and stuff. So there's a few different things. Like with my first, my husband was able to take off. So that
Mhm.
was helpful to have him home
Right.
for that little bit. So I feel like that's why it was a little bit hard whenever he went back. But this time around, it was just those days at the hospital, and good thing we had her on the weekend. So we
Right.
had that little extra time, but he went right back to work because it's
Different job.
Yeah. So that was hard. Just not having him home extra. So it's just, there was a
Mhm.
lot of different things too. I know you helped with my first, you came over and helped clean, or my second, one of the two. And I
Mhm.
know my brother also helped clean with my first. And then he watched our animals this
Mhm.
time whenever we were at the hospital, and he kind of helped clean while we were over there
Right.
as well. So just all those little things really helped. But I would say to people that want to help, people that might be going through this, to reach out and see how they're doing, see if if you're at the store, if you need anything, you did that for me and I needed something and you got it for me. And my other friend said I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? I didn't need anything at that time, but just those helpful things, or hey, do you want me to pick up your favorite drink, or just to be thought of too, or just something that brings a smile to them. I've always offered to moms, if you need me to go over and just help you hold the baby while you take a shower, because sometimes you don't get to do that as easily,
especially when you have more than one.
Or do you want me to watch your kids while you do this or that? And everybody's different. Some people would rather have the baby and you help with household things because they want that bonding time, and other ladies might want to
everybody's different.
For you to help hold the baby and you cling to feel oh, I'm normal again, kind of.
And I think that's important whether you adopt children or you have biological, because a lot of and it's just different with everybody. And I know each time you get pregnant, I always tell that, okay, when she has the baby, just be prepared. She might be over here all the time. Or I might, she might need me to go over there. So, because I always tell you, whatever you need. Because I don't want to, with adult children, it's kind of I don't want to step on your toes. Or when I have a baby, my mom and my grandma would come and stay at my house for a week. Well, we live in the same town.
I have family on both sides, and my in-laws also offered to help. And even my in-laws, my husband's parents, they made us food whenever we went over. So this time, instead of having people come to the hospital, I just had you and his parents come, because I felt I wanted to just bond more and not have people coming in and out, because you already have that with the nurses. So instead, the way we had everybody meet my third with the in-law side, we just went over to my sister-in-law's house and they made food and everything. And they were able to meet the baby that way. But even after our meal train was almost done, they asked, do you need any more meals, or are you good? And I was I'm good. So just even them doing that. And then one of my friends brought a meal a few weeks after my meal train ended, and she just wanted to. I think there was just so much more support this time. And even my husband, from our first to our third, we've changed certain things too, because I felt with our first, we just rushed back into everything. We rushed back into ministry or jobs or whatever. I mean, obviously he has to do certain things, but I rushed back into a lot of things, and I wish I had taken my time. So this time around, I was telling myself, we're not going to rush back into ministries. We're not going to rush back into my photography, whatever hobbies. I'm just going to take my time. Whenever I feel ready, I'll do it. So if you're able to not have that rush back into anything, I feel that's always good too, is just to take your time, enjoy them while they're little. And I know everybody says that because it is hard when they're little. But then at the same time, you look back and you're I wish I didn't do this or that, because I wish I just had more time and didn't think about oh, let's just go back, right back into everything.
Well, I think as Americans, and we've talked about this before, is our culture is set up to just go, 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 go. I mean, every aspect of life is just go, go, go. Some cultures, you literally just have a rest period for 30 or 40 days. And there's a 5-5-5 rule.
I've heard that,
And so it's I don't think we do it here in America.
No, but I've seen it popping up a lot more on social media too.
And it's 5 days in bed, and you don't even get out of bed unless you have to. To go to the bathroom, probably eat, bring you food. And then 5 days on the bed. So there's you have just general self-care activities, and but you're with a baby the whole time the baby's with you, and then 5 days near the bed.
And I don't know how people can do that now, but it definitely would be helpful just to rest more or let your body heal, because I know with toddlers too, you have to take care of them, and your husband goes back to work, and some people don't have family to come and help, or all those different things.
I know in different cultures, I think they were talking about the Netherlands, a few different countries that they have, so they prepare you. We go to doctor's visits and we get our, what do you call it, hospital plan, birthing plan.
Birthing plan.
And then you get your nursery set up. But nobody prepares for the after.
Exactly.
And maybe you have a week or so of food brought to you, meal trains. But other than that, a lot of people in America don't even get paternity or maternity leave. And so many women work outside the
Yeah.
home and even working inside the home, especially
Mhm.
now after 2020.
Yeah.
And there's just not this rest period.
Yeah.
But other cultures, they will actually prepare and they
Mhm.
have people that come almost, I don't want to say a social worker, but I think
Right.
that that's what we would call it, or a doula, or
Like a caretaker.
kind of, but it's where they mother the mother.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
your job is to take care of the baby.
Mhm.
And then like if that was my job would be to take care of you. I bathe you,
Right.
cook, whatever you're comfortable
Yeah.
with, whatever you want, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And we don't have that in America
No.
because I don't think Americans really take care of each other as
Yeah,
much as
it's
some
we don't have a
cultures.
village like other cultures do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and I also think that a lot of us are just raised where we just push it through.
Yeah.
You know, like my generation,
Yeah.
suck it up, buttercup, and
Right.
you got to just go.
Yeah.
Like we weren't allowed to have feelings,
Right.
literally.
Yeah.
And so if any of us even felt like that,
Yeah.
we were made to feel like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
So I'm glad that your generation and younger are more vocal about it
Yeah.
and taking the stigma off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is nice. I know my pastor's wife or our pastor's wife
Right.
said too, like I think in the Philippines, like they all live together, like the families. So it'd be like one family if it's on the first floor, another family on the second.
Right.
And so whenever somebody has a baby, everybody's helping too, you know?
Right.
Like the kids could go downstairs or whatever and people are making meals and stuff.
Yeah. It probably was like that prior because if you think about, I don't know if you remember Uncle Glenn and Aunt Carol, they lived in Massachusetts. They have the multi-family homes. So like the main mom and dad, the grandma and grandpa live on the bottom floor, the next, and then, and so they could do that.
Yeah.
And I remember some stories that dad would say that they would do that. And then his parents, so his mother's mother and dad live next door.
Yeah.
And so they,
there.
Yeah. So he was able to go over all the time. And I'm sure, I don't know how delivery, pregnancy, and all that stuff was different back then. And so the men weren't even allowed.
Yeah.
The dads weren't even allowed to go into the labor
I know. And when they send you home too from the hospital, you're only supposed to like hold anything that's the weight of your baby.
Right.
But like then you add on the car seat, and some ladies aren't able to drive. So there's all these things like like C-sections, add extra healing period on for you as well. So it depends on what your birth was like for how long your healing period will be as well. So there's all these things that you have to like go back to do, and I feel like you don't get to heal as you should.
Exactly. It takes longer. That's what some of this research was talking about, was that if you just are able to just basically do the 5-5-5 rule, your body is able to heal, which helps your mind, which helps your emotions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you're just laying in bed, you're going to get a lot of sleep.
Right.
And so you definitely can sleep when your baby sleeps.
Yes.
Because that's what I always say, but I can't sleep when my baby sleeps because my toddler's running around spilling milk and pulling the cat's tail and, and so we can't do that.
Exactly. And then like if you have certain personalities where you're like, well, now I can clean or something, or if you don't have a meal train coming, like I got to prepare food or something, if you don't have the extra help, and not everybody has that. And I know we live in a military town, so I was also thinking about like the military people that are away from family and maybe haven't had the time to get close friends. So I don't know how it is for them too. Like just anybody that has to move away and they just have a baby and if they don't have family that's able to come or spend time with them. One of my friends from our fellowship, she had a baby in the last month, and her family, her parents and her siblings, and one of her siblings is married. So they actually went and moved to another state to pastor. So that their family came when she had the baby, and they stayed for a whole month and just helped take care of their house, make the meals and everything. And I thought that was really nice. And I was like, this is her first. And I was like, that's got to be such a blessing for her and also for the family, because they're away from her too. But I think I know some people nowadays say like, oh, I can't tell people what I need. And that I feel like I can kind of understand that, but I feel like sometimes people don't know how to help. So just kind of giving somebody an idea of what what would be helpful for you during that
Right.
time. I know I feel like just for the person that wants to help, again, I made a little list, so I'm gonna look real quick. I put meals. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Our church is very good at organizing meal trains for moms in our church that have babies. So I feel like that's very helpful. And this time, my friend that was outside of church organized it, but the majority of people that signed up on that meal train were our church
Right.
ladies.
Right.
But I've also offered to friends that are not in church. I'm like, I'll make you meals. So I've done it a couple times to
Mm-hmm.
friends that aren't out there, and some of them have never had meal trains.
Right.
I feel like just bringing a meal or two or whatever you can to a family, if it's homemade or if you go pick up something that they like, if you don't have the time to make something,
Right.
just having that really helps.
And now, like, you could DoorDash it.
Yeah. One of my friends did that this time
Yeah.
around, and that was very nice. Like, it could be a pizza, like, you
Yeah.
know?
And I think too, if your village is big enough, maybe like I make a meal, but
Right.
I can't deliver it because I got a house
Right.
full of kids.
Mhm.
And so maybe sister so-and-so can come pick it up
Yeah.
and deliver it. There's
So many
there's so
ways,
many
yeah.
ways that maybe you can't make a meal, but you can go pick up somebody else's
Yeah.
meal.
I've even seen people recently, instead of doing like baby showers, like, I don't know if maybe it's like their first kid or like a couple kids down the road. Instead of having a baby shower, they'll have a like a get together where they organize all the clothes for get their
Mm-hmm.
nursery put together, make a bunch of meals and freeze them. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a really good idea too, just to prepare
Yeah.
for afterbirth. The other thing was, if you get away, you don't live in that town at where they are at, like say it's your family member or friend that lives somewhere else, you can DoorDash if you're able to.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to do that, I feel like just calling, texting, checking in on them.
Right.
I feel like that helps, just to be thought of, just calling them if they like to talk on the phone, or
Right.
texting and just checking in, I think helps a lot. And I know sometimes postpartum you can't text back right away, but just to see that, and
Sometimes I don't care
yeah.
what you're going through. Sometimes, hey, God put you on my heart.
Yeah.
I'm praying for you.
Exactly.
And
Just to
sometimes
know
that's
that
like,
somebody's
that's
thinking of
enough
you.
to
Yeah.
get you through it.
Yeah. I really feel like just that's very helpful. Another thing is, like, I think I mentioned it, was to offer to clean, watch the kids, offer to pick up things for them, run errands, pick up groceries, any of that. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know this time around, in the beginning, like, your baby sleeps a lot. So I was
Right.
able to kind of go run errands and they're asleep the whole time. But now she's older and she's not sleeping as much. So now I've switched to paying bills online or over
Yes.
the phone, because I want her to nap and I'm not going to wake her up to go do these
Exactly.
things.
Nap time is even more precious.
Yeah, exactly. So even offering to go pay a bill for somebody or something like that. And not all of these things everybody will want, but I'm just throwing out ideas
Right.
to kind of help, because I know some people don't know how to say what they want, but maybe if you know what you can offer it, and maybe they'll
Right.
take
Well,
it.
too, like, I would probably not think of like, hey, do you want me to go drop off a bill for you or
Right.
something?
Yeah.
But now that you said it, like, okay, and now I'll,
Yeah.
that's something I can offer. So we might not think of anything besides
Yeah.
this little, so hey, do you
Mhm.
mind dropping off this bill?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it did mention too, like, some of the problem with postpartum that can kind of go hand in hand.
Mhm.
And it's not all this,
Right.
but since we're talking about
Mhm.
asking for help, is our pride. And I know that when I'm pregnant,
Mhm.
it is hard for me to like
Right.
ask. It's still hard for me to ask.
Right.
But just to ask, because people don't know
Mhm.
what to do. And so, hey, just be specific and ask. And
Yeah. I feel like that's my biggest advice too. I know that it is very hard for some people. I feel like it's not as hard for me, but I could be wrong. Maybe with the first time, just because it was all brand new, but this time, just like you said, like we're in a different area in our
yes,
life where we can just be open and not feel this judgment. But I feel like telling people what you want really helps, because you
yes,
might not get the help that you need, or you might get something that you don't want.
which makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
a couple other things was to offer to watch the baby while they shower or clean, offer to come over just so they can talk to you,
Right.
or maybe they just want to have somebody just there, sitting there,
Right.
or vice versa. You can have offer for them to come over to your house. Like, I came over and we didn't have to talk sometimes,
Mhm.
and you were just cleaning or whatever, and I was just there to be
Yeah.
around somebody. So offering for that if they want to get out of the house, because I had a friend that didn't want to leave their house. So
Mhm.
everybody's different, and me, I'm the
Right.
opposite. I want to get out. So everybody's different. going to appointments with them. I have a friend that had twins, and one of her friends went to a lot of the appointments afterwards because she had 2 other kids. So I think that helps a lot.
And that would be helpful
Yeah.
with a child with special needs.
Yeah, anything. Just being able to go with them to all the baby's doctor's appointments, or if it helps pregnancy, but since we're talking postpartum,
Right.
like just going to that. Because I was telling my mom also, or telling you, that that's kind of whenever I'd get kind of anxious was
Right.
going to the doctors, and I don't know why, but just the anxiousness would come up when I was by myself and going to the doctors. And you offered and I was just like, no, I think I can do this. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad, but just those feelings of anxiousness, like maybe just that going with somebody for their appointment, just being there. Because sometimes you have the time when they come in and then they're like, okay, we got to go do something, and we'll come right back. But then you have that dead space of just sitting there all by yourself, either with your kids that are acting crazy, or just you and your baby, and you're just kind of alone in there.
And then that alone time, I think that's where the devil can strike, and a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, a lot of loneliness, just lie to you.
Yeah. And then at those appointments, the doctor will give you this thing, postpartum thing,
A questionnaire.
check. So like I said, I never said I had it because I didn't want to go on with all the other stuff because I had the support I needed. But then you see that and you have those feelings, and stuff like that. Another thing is just asking what they need help with if you don't know. I know that same friend that had twins, I remember texting her and asking her, we have a lady in church that is getting ready to have twins. Like, what helped you the most? And she said, ladies in church offered to do their laundry. And I had a lady that offered this time too, but I felt like I was better doing my laundry, but just the fact that she offered was really nice. So she had people that did her kids' laundry, and they had people that bought diapers for them for the whole year.
Yeah.
And I know not all of these areas people are able to do, but just throwing out those ideas still.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that friend that you're helping, the family member that you're helping might not want that, but there's always something.
Yes, something.
Yeah.
If you don't have the financial things to help with that area, just texting.
Listening is free.
Listening, yes.
Encouragement is free.
Yeah, exactly.
You can clean for free.
Yeah, exactly.
You can babysit for free.
Yep. You can wash their dishes.
Yes.
Help with their pets. Like, I remember telling you that this time around we have more pets.
Right.
Just, I was like, I have to take care of my kids. I have to take care of the pets, and have my house clean from meals. So just anything would help. Like, I remember you guys came over a couple times. You did school at our house, and I remember my brother, he threw out the trash for me. He collected the eggs from our chicken, cleaned up the dog poop. Like, all those little things help. And for the lady that is in postpartum, this is what I wanted to tell them. What you can do. I want, for sure, ask for help. I feel like is the biggest thing with anything that you need. Don't feel embarrassed by something you might need help with. Because I remember with my first, I don't remember how I met this lady. I was telling my husband, I don't remember, but she had a daughter around the same age as mine. And I remember we were just talking online or something, and we were just discussing how we were feeling and stuff. And she's like, I can come over so you can take a shower and I can watch your baby. And I didn't know her that well, so I didn't really feel comfortable, but just the fact that she offered was very nice. Instead, she came over and we just sat and talked, and that was helpful, just to have somebody to talk to that was going through the same thing. So I feel like just not feeling embarrassed about what you're going through and what you might ask for help with.
And I think that's important because a lot of us, no matter what it is, postpartum or whatever, I think a lot of us, and I'm going to be honest, especially in the Christian, there is a stigma that you lack faith.
You have to be vulnerable.
Yes.
To do that.
Yeah. And again, I think it's better now. And I think a lot of pastors and a lot of churches are much more aware of.
You're good.
Mental health is it is a big topic.
Right.
And a lot of people are being honest because a lot of us don't report, I'm feeling bad.
Right. Exactly.
And so I think that more people are aware of it, because I only knew one other woman before you that said that she dealt with it. And I thought, how could you, she had it bad and she didn't like her baby. And I'm thinking, how could you not like your baby?
Right.
And that's just weird. And, being judgmental.
Yeah.
And hopefully I didn't say or
Right.
portray that to her face.
Mhm.
And I know I asked her a few questions because I'd never met anybody.
Yeah.
I had heard about it,
Right.
but I never met anybody that had it. And I think she had it with both kids.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know again if it's in the family
Right.
because we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know of too many friends that have dealt with it. I think just being open, you don't know if somebody else has dealt with it too. Just being
Yes.
vulnerable. Like I said in the beginning, like don't rush back into everything. Like take your
Yes.
time going back into everything.
Because too,
Yeah.
the dishes will always be
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Laundry is
Yes.
you're always going to have laundry.
And speaking of that, I think also getting paper plates, plastic, silverware,
Yes.
all of that in the beginning helps to cut down on dishes.
All your standards go down.
Yes. And even one of my friends' moms, we were talking and she's a homeschooler as well. And I
Mhm.
just remember talking to her like she has 9 kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did you do it? You know,
Mm.
like she never had any of the kids go to public school. So like she
Yeah.
homeschooled them from little
Yeah.
all the way up. And she obviously had 9 kids and they were kind of close. I was just like, how did you do it? Did you ever deal with this?
Mhm.
And she said, like paper plates, it's okay if you're eating cheese and crackers or cheese and bagels. Like there's a
Yes.
time and place for all of this.
Yes.
You know, like you eat pretty healthy, but even you have said there's a time and place for you to eat frozen meals,
Yeah.
eat a certain way, and then you can slowly go back to eating normal
Yeah.
or however you eat.
Yep.
Or going out to eat if that's you have the means to do that. It's convenience or it's helpful during that time as well. So tell people what you need. Talk to people, a pastor, a parent, close friend, doctor, if it's very serious.
Right.
Just being open and talking to people about how you feel, getting counsel if you need it, just having somebody to talk to, having grace on yourself as well. I feel like I think that I'm trying to do that this time around compared to the first time. Like you said dishes will wait, having grace on yourself for I homeschool as well. Like I'm not being able to homeschool as often as I want to. There was a day where my daughter didn't want to nap as much and we didn't do school that day and I was open with my kids as well. I was like, okay, we're going to do this during her nap time. But if I have to get up and nurse her, try your best to finish whatever you have and I'll help you with whatever you were able to do.
So maybe they're not like book learning that day, but they're life learning.
Right.
And they're learning that they're not the center of your world.
Right.
And that they have to have grace on you.
Yeah.
And that they have to have like patience with their baby sister,
Right.
like, hey, and that that's a struggle or it could be a challenge or a bump in the road for them, that it's okay. And that tomorrow or just let me put baby down, let me nurse baby, and then afterwards I can give you my attention.
And I know I've talked to a couple homeschooling people about that too, and everybody's different. One of them baby carries. I'm not a baby carrier, and I don't think I've ever really done it with any of my kids, maybe once, but I don't feel comfortable doing it. Like it's just not me. So I know a couple people baby carry and do homeschool. Another mom said that they would have breaks between kids. Like they wouldn't do school for this amount of time between kids or different seasons in their life. And then another mom said the same thing, like where it would just be like, we're going to do daily things. Like we're going to learn how to bake. We're going to learn how to do chores or whatever that day.
Well, I think too, what I've heard like with large families is the older kids and I know people don't like to hear the word train your children.
Right.
But if you're around your kids all the time, they do learn how to do all this stuff. And so your older kids, boys or girls, they can help out with the other kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, you have a partner baby or whatever, but they can help. They can help do the dishes. They can help get you diapers, whatever.
That same mom that had the 9 kids, she was telling me that too. Because I asked, I was like, well, I know like obviously in the very beginning when they're all little, how did you do that? And she said with one of her kids, he was a little more wild and she had to have him like play in his room.
Right.
And then she said like eventually as they got older, like the older kids would be like, okay, it's your turn. Like you go and do playtime with the younger ones while I homeschool this one. So they just had like this routine, and she said if they didn't get to everything, they had certain basics that they stuck to, like Bible time and reading or just certain basics that she wanted to have. The other thing, like I said, paper plates and all that helps. Getting rest when you can. My husband and I were kind of talking about that, and we think that that has a big part to do with the postpartum feelings as well. You are running on empty with sleep.
Yes.
Your body needs extra stuff. Like your body's healing. And I've learned this time around is that like the placenta is like a dinner-sized plate wound in your body so you have this wound inside of you that you're healing from. So whether you or a C-section or not, you have different healing. So your body's healing. So you need that rest. And anybody that doesn't have rest for a while, you can start to.
Right. No matter what you're going through. Yeah.
But plus if you're breastfeeding, your body's learning how to do that. Some people can't do it naturally, so they're still learning, or babies learning, are learning. Just a lot that goes into it. Look for the small victories.
Yes.
That's what I feel like, hey, I got to brush my teeth today, or I was able to help my kids get changed today, or was able to read them a book, and one person else said, like, you are doing a lot by just taking care of your baby.
No, that's 100%.
And if you breastfeed, I see all different things. Like I can't say it word for word, so I'm like, I don't have the exact facts, but like it's like running a marathon, or like they're comparing it to certain things. Your body.
Well, I think that motherhood can be very mundane.
Yeah,
and anybody can go and pick up the trash.
Right.
Anybody can do dishes.
Right.
Anybody can change a diaper. But it's not just about that.
Yeah.
And having kids that didn't get their needs met in the beginning, just holding your baby, comforting them, meeting their needs, changing their diaper, you don't realize how big and how important that is. Like I sent you a video.
Yeah.
What do they call that? Something napping. There's a term for it.
Yeah.
But the mom was like the baby fell asleep on
nap trapped.
Yeah, so the baby fell asleep on the mom, but she didn't get up. She didn't go put the baby down. And I'm not saying every time your baby falls asleep on you, but she knew that having that baby, and it looked pretty young.
Yeah,
having the baby on her chest, and she wasn't naked. Some people have the
skin to skin is supposed to be very important.
Just the clothes. The baby fell asleep on her, and she knew that the baby's brain was developing. And the emotional, true. So true.
Because if you think about it, I know like everybody's different too. Like I have some friends that they're not as me as well, but like
touchy.
Yeah. And then there's others that want the baby all the time with them.
Right.
So they were in you. Your body fed them.
Yes.
Anytime.
Right.
Like the baby was able to eat anytime from you.
Right.
They heard you. They were safe in you. They were taking care of in you. And now they're out in the world. Now they cry because they want to nurse because they can't just, or, get fed. Now they cry because they need a diaper change, everything. Right. So now it's a whole new world for them as well. So everything's new.
Yes, but I think the devil will lie to us moms for the rest of our lives that we're not enough, that we're not doing enough. And that, but the newborn stage, since we're talking about postpartum, you can't go wrong by holding your baby too much, or if the baby cries, pick it up.
Like one of my friends told me whenever I was trying to potty train, they're not going to walk or graduate in diapers. And it's the same thing. Like you're not going to have to always hold your baby.
This is a phase.
Yeah.
This is just a stage. Yeah.
So I know with my first, she slept with us for the whole year. She didn't like her bassinet, didn't like her crib. And my other two liked the crib and bassinet. So every child is different too. Yeah. Another thing was put on a movie for your kids. Get easy access for them to snacks or food, and put on something that will entertain them just so they, like my kids like to listen to stories. Anything that helps them too. I know a friend that recently just had a baby as well. And I agree with this. Like she said, she felt like she couldn't watch anything sad, hear any sad news. So it has to be all happy. And I feel the same way. Like one of the times, especially in the beginning, you're up a lot nursing and your husband can't really do much, but he stayed up and we were just watching something together, and that helped. We both had our headphones in so the baby could sleep, and I was nursing, but just having the fact that he was awake and we were able to kind of do something together in that moment, watching something happy, or reading something happy. So I totally agree with that. Like I felt like that too, just seeing something sad pop up on news or social media is just kind of like passed by it as well, because all the lonely feelings and stuff. I know with my first, it definitely lasted for about 3 months. This time around, I felt like it lasted about a month to 2 months, and it comes and goes too. Like recently we had like a church camp out, and it wasn't as bad as before, like those beginning feelings, but just me and the baby were the only ones there. My other daughters went with my husband to the church camp out, and just me and her, just kind of having that lonely feeling again. I was like, nope, I'm okay. Like just telling myself that. So it's not going to last forever. I was telling my friend it won't last forever.
Right.
So you know that there will be an end to this. Things will change and it's a new normal, and you will feel like you lost your old self. Like, cause you know, your life is now, the baby depends on you. You might have to step away from certain things, but it won't last forever. Like you probably will cry. You won't understand why you feel that way. You feel like you can't go on sometimes. Things will get better, definitely, slowly but surely, and it won't last forever. Each day will get better. You'll probably miss the freedom that you had, and it's okay to feel those feelings. Reading scriptures that help encourage you, listen to a story, watch a movie, go for a walk, get outside in the sun for a little bit each day, do something to distract your mind, take a drive. Each person's experience is different. I remember in the beginning, like I went out to eat when the baby was asleep for a nap, and me and the kids would just go outside and eat, and just being out in the fresh air really helps too.
The sun does wonders.
Yeah, it does. And I don't do it as much now, but I'm definitely feeling better now.
Right.
You know? Reading scriptures, that one really helped too, because me and my friend, we went back and forth, like, let's look up scriptures kind of to help postpartum, because we kind of want to put some scriptures up in our nursing room and church. That really helped a lot.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So do you have like a favorite? Was there a verse or two that got you like really like that was your verse?
I feel like there's a few different ones. I could read them off. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Isaiah 40:29, he gives power to the faint, and to him that hath no might he increaseth strength. Isaiah, I'm going to cry reading these.
I have tissue.
But that's how it felt like that night that we were sending these back and forth. Like it just helped to have them. It's good.
That's God's word, though.
Exactly.
That's God's word.
Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. You do not be dismayed. For I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with your righteous right hand.
That is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
So that scripture right there, it's probably the same woman that we're referring to.
Probably.
But there's two ladies that just like brought over some marigolds from my garden.
Yeah.
And some like goodies just as a thank you.
Yeah.
And they have they know I'm a bookworm. So they those little magnet bookmarks.
Yeah.
That's scripture.
It's good.
And so I said, y'all, like, this is my verse. This is my verse.
And it was in the middle of the night that I was nursing it, you know, so it was just like helping me get through it. Philippians 4:6-7, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything be by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Matthew 11:28-29, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Psalms 28:7, the Lord is my strength and my shield, my heart trusteth in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. Isaiah 43:2, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. That one I really stumbled upon.
No, it's okay.
Psalm 61:2, from the ends of the earth I call to you. I call as my heart grows faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Psalms 147:3, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And that's just the ones that I favorited to put up in the nursing room. So there's a whole lot more.
Yeah, I have one too. The Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bible, that's the thing, the Bible, and not necessarily talk about postpartum.
Right.
But just the comfort.
Yeah.
And just the peace of knowing that God is right there in your struggle. Like right there. Yep.
I know even it's kind of wild. I don't know how it could feel like a conspiracy too. How wild social media was just popping up with all the videos of that time. And it's funny because now it's switching to like the time that my baby is in now. She's 4 months old. So just the videos changing. So all of it was like newborn stuff. And I couldn't really watch them either because it was like lots of postpartum things, like the sadness, you know, and I couldn't watch that. So being able to, I would watch sermons sometimes too while I was nursing. And I would fall asleep or listen to the Bible or listen to a book that I was listening to. And so even though I wasn't listening to the whole thing or getting it, just the fact that I was listening to God's word or listening to a sermon that I missed or listening to a sermon in our fellowship or listening to the Bible kind of helped, because I was, especially in the beginning when you're just so tired of nursing, it was so hard to sometimes stay awake. So just scrolling through, reading the Bible or listening to a video or a happy video or a sermon or something like that helped. But yeah, hearing God's word definitely helps. And each person's experience is different postpartum with a baby. So everybody's different. So one need, or what is it? One thing doesn't fit all kind of thing. Right. Do what's best for you and what works for you and your baby too. I feel like that's the best. That same friend that we were doing the scripture with, she has been a very big help. She offered to clean my house before or after the baby
came. Same woman.
Yeah. It's just crazy what God's doing in her life and raising her up. And she's been such a help.
But I think a lot of this, her ability to comfort, her ability to pull those scriptures out, it comes from the pain that she's been through.
Yeah, and I think that
helps.
helps.
The loss and I think a lot of the people that you meet that have depth, that have, you can lean on them. It's because they've been through a lot.
I think so too, because the friend that offered, she's like, if you just need to come over to my house, like just be around somebody. I feel like, she's a person that likes to be around people too.
Yeah.
So I think that helped as well. Like she's like, my door is always open if you need to come over.
And she meant every word. Yep, you could.
Exactly.
You want to come crash on my couch?
Yep. That's exactly what she said.
Because you could go right now. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a couple of in-laws offering to clean my house. I never accepted it. That sounds wrong, but I was so thankful that they did. But they have taken my kids to go to the park whenever I was like, I'm sorry, I can't come now, but I want to, but can you take my kids? They've taken my kids to the school lunches and they've taken my kid to the park, kids to the park and stuff. So even though I might have not accepted one area, I've accepted other areas that I needed and that my kids needed as well.
Right.
This is probably maybe more like the trauma side, I guess, of it. That sounds funny, that word, but you understand it. Like sometimes smells and sounds will remind me of it, like the sounds of the hospital or smells of the hospital. And it's not even the hospital smells, but certain smells and things will remind me of that.
No, I 100% understand because we had that, Dad and I did with Paige. And so the heart monitor that they put on you and the baby, it was almost like a phantom sound. Because there was, obviously, when you go home, you don't have a heart monitor on. We both heard it. And then that hospital smell, certain smells, and you're at your own house.
Exactly.
And everything's been washed and everything like that. Yeah. And it's just
random, it'll just come random times. Like our one chair makes this sound that sounded like the air, or I don't even know what type of tool was in the hospital, but you could feel like you're finally over it. And these little things will like trigger things in your mind and like bring you back in it. Sometimes you'll cry or whatever. And it's crazy because it's such a beautiful moment to have a kid. But then there's this trauma that sometimes comes with it. And it doesn't even matter if you had a wonderful birth. No complications, but they could still be like this trauma in a way.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, women are hormonal.
Yeah.
And it takes certain hormones when you're pregnant to help the baby grow.
Right.
And then the baby's out.
Yeah.
So then it's a whole nother set of hormones, and hormones are real. The effects are real. And then
I think there's a rush of some sort of like, I think dopamine, or I don't remember what.
There is because
whenever you nurse too, it causes certain things in your brain too.
So, and just the rush, because like I said, with Paige, I didn't have my baby, but I had that high. You have a high and then there's just so much. Yeah.
Checking in on the postpartum people at different ages of their baby, not just newborn, because I think that's a kind of like maybe a myth too. And I see that the doctors are actually going longer with their questions, or pushing it longer than I think they said they go till 6 months now. But there's different stages. Newborn definitely is. I feel like the hardest because of all the things that newborns need.
Right.
And that you're healing, because I know usually you have that 6-week postpartum checkup or 8 weeks or whatever. depending on your healing. But you're still healing for
Right.
like a whole year. I think it said like for your hormones to kind of get back to normal.
Mhm.
But I've heard like it takes like 5 years for your body to go back to normal before like
Right.
baby times.
And that's after your last baby. So if you
Yeah.
keep having babies,
Like you don't have that 5
yes,
year.
like your hips or something may never even go
Yeah.
back to where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some things never change, like never go back.
Exactly. So I think checking in on them, and like your babies go through different phases, like sleep regressions or their
Teething.
yeah, all the
Mhm.
different areas they're learning to crawl, and now they're getting into everything. Or so just different areas might make life harder at
Yeah.
times. So even bringing a meal during those times
I
for
think
a
it's just
baby,
good to check in on moms.
period.
Yep.
Yeah.
Period.
Even if
Yep.
it's not, even if it's after a year, maybe they're going through
No, like
teenage years, or
yes.
I don't know.
No, because
I don't have teenagers, but I know
you have
that
toddlers, teenage and toddlers are the same.
yeah, and then
Just
you
with
have
more.
kids testing you, or
Yeah.
and that happens too. Like I think my husband, I know everybody's husband's different, but like sometimes I'm like, I did not have a chance to make dinner, or I forgot to take out the chicken to thaw or something, and he's like, he never makes me feel bad that like, oh, we had to order pizza or something, or we're having leftovers, or I went to the store and got a rotisserie chicken, just or having frozen food. Like
Dad's good about that too.
yeah, so I feel
Mhm.
like checking in on them at different stages, not just in the newborn stage, checking in on them with all babies that they have, not just their first too,
Right.
because I know the first is definitely more of the stage where you're learning
Right.
a lot, but every kid is different. Like I said, I had it with my first, not my second, but I also had it with my third. So checking in at different
Right.
times as well.
Right.
Different
And
babies.
then I can't even imagine having postpartum and then like having a colicky baby
Yeah.
or like a baby with special needs
Right.
or,
Twins, multiples.
throw something else up in there. Yep.
Yeah, and maybe they're going through a different season in their life too. Like maybe they lost a loved one, or maybe their husband is starting a new job or lost a job, and maybe their life is completely fine too.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. I was going through some stats, and I don't mean to keep cutting you off,
No,
but
it's fine.
I was going through some stats, and if you look at okay, there's certain words that I like. It literally is what kind of we have in our head, the people that get depressed, right?
Right.
The postpartum.
Yeah.
Young, non-white, less educated, married. They're on WIC, Medicaid.
Right.
They smoke during pregnancy and after, and then they're typically in a domestically abusive relationship. If you go down the stats, like I have them here, it was off of the stats come from the Department of Health and Human Services, and it covered race, it covered like all these different categories, and it affects every category, every walk of life, every race, ethnicity, every age.
Yeah.
But typically,
every group, like whether you're rich or poor.
Yes, but and so just because you're an older mom doesn't mean you haven't gone through it.
Right.
Or like you said, just because you're married doesn't mean you're
right.
Yeah. So don't take it for granted that you don't fit into this.
Yeah. Because some people might not have their husbands there as much as other husbands.
And some husbands are not supportive. Let's just be honest.
Right. There's so many different aspects. Like I said, like they might be away from family. Like, and I definitely have been thinking about the military people lately, just because we live near a military base. And I've made some friends with military people, and their husband might be TDY or overseas or something, and they don't have their spouse with them to help them through. And maybe their family can't come to visit them. Like I know one family, or one of my friends that just had a baby, her family was able to come for about a month. And there's all different aspects to it. Doesn't really matter.
And it's interesting because we think of postpartum and you have your baby. The highest rate of people that have postpartum is the women that have lost their baby. Yeah. And I mean, it was a big jump in percentage. And it's encouraging on stats. There doesn't matter what race you are. Like I said, all the classifications, the doctors, the nurses, any kind of staffing. Yeah. The stats are going up that yes, you're getting asked, you're getting helped, you're getting, but the stats are self-reported. Right. So when you see statistics, you always assume that they've got to be higher or lower, depending on what statistic kind of you're looking at. So, I mean, the statistics are not always right, but it gives you an idea. Yeah. But these were all self-reported. Right. And I know that a lot of women feel shame. Yeah. they feel
Maybe they have family that is totally against that kind of stuff.
right. And just if you, I mean, like I said, that other mom that I knew, she didn't like her babies. Like that's unnatural. And so could you imagine feeling like you don't like your babies and then feeling bad you don't like your babies? That just makes it worse.
And that's on a lot of the questions. It's like, are you feeling any way towards yourself? Are you feeling any way towards your babies? I remember with my first, I feel like I was more anxious with her. And I felt like even if my family that I trusted, I had nothing against them on both sides, in-laws and like you guys, if they were holding him, I felt like I had to be right next to her. Like I couldn't leave her. But like after my second and third, I'm like, here, take my kid, you can have. And I never felt like that way against them. But I know there's also times like where you just feel like very overwhelmed, like I can't do this anymore. Like, so I can totally get why those feelings could come.
So did you have any, were you done on one?
I was done on my side.
Okay. So I did have a few questions. So like, did you have any postpartum feelings during your pregnancy?
I don't think so.
So
I know this time around with my third, I was definitely more emotional.
Right.
And I get scared about the feelings that I had with my first. So I was definitely praying against it and stuff like that.
Right.
But I definitely was more emotional this time around, very irritated, sad, whatever. So I don't know. My third, I was definitely more emotional.
Right. And I can understand, like I had different emotions with you versus your brother.
Yeah.
You know, it was weird because when I was pregnant with my son, I felt more like feminine. And I was like, he's taking all the testosterone. But it's not the same. Like every pregnancy is not the same.
And I have all girls, so it doesn't matter either.
Right.
With like, gender.
So one quote that I read, and this is from healthline.com, was many women don't know what is normal, especially with your first, whether it's your pregnancy, you don't know like, or the feelings that come afterwards. And so sometimes you don't know what's normal and what's not normal. And so I think like there's no way like we can change society on a whole, but we can start where we are here.
Yeah.
And so by you just reaching out and you wanted to do this podcast and you wanted to let people know like you're okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you and to get help, to ask and that it will go away and it will get better.
Yeah. I think definitely after I experienced it with my first, I remember any friends that had babies afterwards, I would let them know like, even when I had a kid, I was like, let me know if you need anything. If I'm able to, I'll come over. Like if it's not during my daughter's nap time, I will come over and help with anything you need. And I never really received people saying, yeah, I'll take it. But maybe just like I said, the fact that I offered it helped.
Well, I think just knowing like the things that we've been through, sometimes just people offering and knowing that somebody's thinking about you.
Right.
And then you're not forgotten. Because honestly, being a mom I think I don't care what you're going through. It can be very isolating.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And so it's very isolating.
I know I was going to say one thing because I didn't realize this, but I think even adoption, like how you were saying, like I wish I had known that, but maybe I don't know what time of life I was in. But like bringing meals to a family that is just getting kids to adopt or fostering or whatever, because that changes aspects in their life too. And maybe it might be a little bit different, but in some areas it's the same.
Right. So like with adoption, a lot of times I see when couples adopt a newborn, they'll get a baby shower.
Right.
And maybe they'll get meals. Right. But it's those of us that adopt the older kids.
Right. But they need things too.
You almost need it more.
Right.
Because a newborn is a newborn and newborns do come with trauma.
Right.
Like I'm not denying that.
Right.
But the trauma usually shows up later.
Right.
So usually when you get a newborn, unless they're drug addicted, then you're going to have to go through withdrawals with the baby.
Right.
Or special needs. But generally just a regular baby that you get from the hospital.
Right.
You know, newborn.
I don't even know if they have a word like postpartum for that. But just, I think anytime you bring somebody new into your family,
it changes the dynamics. But when you're dealing with like you know how we adopted the sibling group before, when we took on another sibling group, I knew I need to do these things. We hired
to prepare yourself.
Yeah, we hired a housekeeper.
Yeah.
Because she would come in once a week and just...
I have a friend that did that for her postpartum, was to hire a housekeeper too.
Right. So because I knew that when you have older kids that are coming into your house from trauma, their needs are great. And they need more attention than newborn babies. Yeah. And so like I remember a few times, well, not even a few times, this is just the norm.
Right.
there's an issue, you have to stop. And you can't just normally say, okay, hey, say you're sorry, or whatever,
Right.
and you have to like talk them through, or
Yeah.
they're just freaking out. Or so anyway, I don't want to like divert into an adoption
Right.
thing, but
But I just wanted to mention it too, just
yes,
because
100%.
like not just somebody that just gave birth needs meals or
Yes.
support, but also families that adopted.
I think there is like a form of postpartum, but it's probably called something else because obviously we don't have the healing and the hormonal change.
Right.
But there is tired, there is stress, there is overwhelmment, a lot of the same feelings.
Right. So I feel like just putting it out there, like if you know
Yes.
somebody that just adopted or whatever,
Yes, 100%.
then offer similar support.
So it's a couple of things that I saw that, and this was off of the Mayo Clinic. And so studies show that new fathers can experience postpartum depression too. Obviously,
I've heard that.
Obviously their bodies didn't give birth, and again, their hormones, but they can feel sad, tired, and I've heard like some men eat when they're like or they feel nauseous. So depending on the man and things like that. So I think when you're helping the mother or you're bringing a meal, obviously the dad's going to eat too. So I think it's important having a husband who is a dad to 8 kids.
Yeah.
They do get left out.
Yeah, because they work all day. Then they come home and say you have other kids. They're going to take care of them, but they might not be able to make a meal. Or they might not have the time. They're tired as well. They're staying up too sometimes, or getting woken up with the baby in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you said they get forgotten. So I feel like that is so true because they're working all day.
Yeah.
And
so if you're going to bring the mom a coffee, bring a dad a coffee too.
Yeah.
So dads, we hear you, we see you. And then you've mentioned it, but I want to stress because we both know, not personally, but there was a prayer request and we've met the family that lost a family member to postpartum through suicide.
Yeah.
And so if you are having suicidal thoughts, you want to harm your baby, self-harm, or you want to harm your child, call 911. There is no shame.
Yes.
Because
definitely get help.
Yes, get help. And there is no shame in doing that. You will be thankful in the long run if you do that.
Yeah.
And I will actually leave a couple of links in the show notes.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has a pastor, not everybody has a church.
Exactly.
Not everybody has a friend.
Right.
And so if you are by yourself, or I don't even care if you have all those things and you're feeling these things, I will leave links and numbers in the show notes. There's always
people out there. I know there's lots of mom groups, and I know sometimes it takes courage to go out to those things, but that helps to just go and be a part of like other moms that have similar aged kids or have gone through those things, or even social media, because we do have that open access. Like you can find
a group,
somebody that you follow, and you could message them too. Like there's so many avenues, if you're not one that likes to get out, to find somebody.
And also leave me a comment, message me. I'm not a licensed anything, but
because I've had so many friends recently that are not in this town too. I've messaged them a few times just to check in and just be like, how's postpartum going? And if you ever need to talk, like I'm here. Even though we're both kind of in postpartum, but just to have somebody in the middle of the night, we're up, with their
that's
baby.
Just like my other adoptive mom friend. We could both be going through hell, but I know, and she knows, we can call each other about
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, this is going on and we understand. Just a quick note. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, we have matching shirts on. And like Colleen said, this is probably the only time you'll ever see us.
Matching. Yeah.
So Colleen actually told me about this getting your pink back. So can you explain what it is? Because
do you have the lady's name?
Lindsay?
Yes, Lindsay.
I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Quick, just so that I can mention her, because that's kind of how I found out about it.
And I will leave her link and her shop in the show notes as well. The theme of this shirt is getting your pink back, and it goes hand in hand with the theme of this podcast.
Lindsay Girk, that's what I thought. Yeah, so Lindsay Girk has these shirts and other thing. The shirts available, but that's how I found out about it. And getting your pink back is basically talking about flamingos, and it's not just the female flamingos, but also the dads.
Right.
They lose their pink because they're giving all their nutrients to their babies, so they look white. But slowly, after the baby gets older, their pink starts to come back. So is a pretty cool term to say, get your pink back, because you kind of are putting all your focus on a baby. And you might lose relationships or not be as close to them. You might lose hobbies. You might lose yourself in a way during that time.
You might have quit a job.
Yeah, not have that normal, not who you were before.
Right.
Slowly you'll come back, and maybe you'll be a new person too. Maybe you'll have new hobbies. Maybe you'll have new friends, and it'll be better whenever you get your pink back.
Exactly. We just wanted to bring this to light and hopefully take some of the stigmatism off, again, in the Christian world and non-Christian world. Let you know that you're not alone.
Yes.
And that, like, I can attest, she didn't have emotional problems growing up.
Right.
She came from a good home.
Right.
She's very happily married. Her husband takes good care of her and her kids. And you would think she would not be somebody like, you have nothing to be sad about.
Right.
You know? Yeah. And so you look at her on the outside and she's got it, like, so much to be thankful for.
Right.
But yet you got hit by it. You know what I mean? And so it can affect anybody. And so we wanted to bring this to light and let you know you're not alone.
Yeah.
And just encourage you and reach out.
I wanted to say thank you to everybody that has supported and helped me during this time. Group thread on for our church, the ladies, like, just being vulnerable and asking for prayer during times where I was just feeling very emotional, or certain friends that have helped. There's all the people that brought meals, all the people that have helped with my kids or just come over or just let me talk. And I don't know, just wanted to thank all of them too, because it's a very big deal and it's very helpful. Very, very helpful.
Right. And you can now, like, what you've been through, you're able to help others. And I know none of us like to go through things.
Right.
But I always ask God, like, don't let this suffering go in vain. And so I hope that by you sharing your story and being vulnerable, that you help strengthen another woman.
Or my husband even said that too, like, that he kind of sees it like this, like, kind of as a ministry, like, when other moms have babies, like, to help them. And he was saying, even if whenever our daughters have kids, like, to stay overnight with them, help them in the middle of the night with whatever they need to. So it's also kind of like a ministry in a way. Like, so I think it's awesome that he sees it that way as well.
Right. That's good, because then, you know, you have your support and you will be able to do that for other people. Because if you can, like, if he's not there to keep the home while you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know, like, obviously right now I have little ones, so I don't have as much time, but eventually you'll get your pink back and you can be able to do more.
Right. And you just grow as a mom.
Yeah.
And so just one more question, just out of curiosity, but like, during, like, you said, like 3 to 4 months or something. After that, does it come on you sometimes, some days?
Just every now and then. Like, I feel like this time it was only about 2 months that I had it. And, like, whenever she started sleeping through the night more, and not necessarily sleeping through the night, but, you know, sleeping longer, like waking up once a night or so, that helped getting your sleep, and the emotions start to kind of go away.
Right.
Every now and then there was one random day that it just came on me really hard. And I was like, why do I feel this way? I've had a good day. My kids are fine. The baby's really fine, sleeping really good. My husband had the day off. And I have no reason why I should be feeling this way. And I reached out to the ladies that day because I was just like, I need prayer. Like, I don't know why I feel this way. And I thought I was over it. So it sometimes comes and goes too.
I think that happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did this come from? Like, that I have no reason to be upset, mad, anything. And I think that the devil just plays on that, you know, on emotions, and uses it as an attack. And I find, like, sometimes, you know, if you're going through a marriage struggle or you're having, I mean, there was one point too, like, where I was having a certain health issue, and then come to find out the same time period, 2 other women, the exact same weird health problem. So generally, like, if you're feeling down, there's going to be someone else.
That's actually what happened too, because one of my friends on the side messaged me, and she said, that's crazy because I was having the same emotions that day, and her daughter's over 1 now. But she said she had called her husband and he prayed peace over her and all of that, and it went away. So that we were feeling kind of with the same stuff that day. Just feeling, I was feeling lonely and everything, and I was like, I have no reason to feel that way. But so sometimes it comes and goes.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for coming, and, you know,
Thank
babies
you.
asleep.
Yes. Yep.
Children
She's
are.
in bed for the night.
Yeah. So again, if you need help, I'll
Yes.
link the links in the show notes and reach out. Like I said, I can encourage you.
I know I could too. I know I'm not on there, but I'm sure my mom could.
Yeah, honestly,
Send
like
stuff to me.
if I don't know, I'll find somebody. And if you do have a pastor, I encourage you to talk to your pastor, pastor's wife. I'm sure there's other women in your church who's gone through it. And if not, if you are the only one, the first one,
Right.
honestly, truly believe that God is putting you in this position because God's going to bring somebody in the church
Right.
that's going to need your story. So don't let the devil rob you.
Yeah.
And God's going to use your story.
Yeah.
God's going to use this. So again, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you guys.